Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today we're going to talk about Andrew Yang, and we are going to talk about the February 3rd Iowa caucus results. Very exciting. All right, so I almost never do this, but I need to timestamp what I'm saying because you and I know the Iowa caucus results are chaos, absolute chaos. So you got to know when I'm saying what I'm saying, right? Okay, so it is 9:28 Eastern Standard Time on February 4th. And we're going to look at the results right now as reported from Iowa. I'm not even going to touch the delay in the results because it's just too much. And I want to cover the important part, the results. Okay? So let's get into it. So let's talk about the most important part of the Iowa caucus results first, which is Andrew Yang. How did he do, right? Well, he did great. So how did he do great? Let's talk about it, okay? So Andrew Yang, exactly as I said would happen, got 0 delegates. Not great. Not super happy about that. But he did do great, and the reason why was he got 1% of the total vote. 1% of the total vote. Okay? That means that 1%, 1 out of 100 people in Iowa understand that Andrew Yang is the future of this country. So when we came to the election, 1% of the people in Iowa saw that Andrew Yang is the future of this country. He is our Camelot future. He is our magical future. He is our bright future. He is a once-in-10 generation leader, and 1 in 100 people in who are noble enough to vote in Iowa saw that. That's exciting. That's incredibly exciting. Okay? And guess what? It's really exciting because there's two billionaires who with all their billions could not match the momentum of Andrew Yang. They fell behind him, right? So Tom Steyer, 0.3% of the vote, okay? 1/3 of what Andrew Yang got. So his billions could not get him as far as Andrew Yang's winning smile, freedom dividend, skateboarding, and all the nobility and intelligence and awesomeness that is Andrew Yang. You can't buy it. You cannot buy what Andrew Yang has in his own person. You can't buy it with $1 billion, right? And that is Andrew Yang. You can't buy a fraction of what he is with $1 billion. And Tom Steyer and Michael Bloomberg tried and failed and couldn't do it, right? And that's exciting to me. That's incredibly exciting. Michael Bloomberg is double goose egg, right? That's a lot of money for a lot of nothing. Ooh, man, that's bad. That's gotta sting, right? That's gotta be that's a New York stunner right there. Like that's gotta hurt, okay? All right, so let's keep it moving. So I absolutely love that Andrew Yang just absolutely decimated Steyer and Bloomberg and said, go back to your wine caves. I got this, and ran past both of them. And that's exactly where he belongs to be, where he belongs at. He belongs ahead of Tom Steyer and ahead of Michael Bloomberg. He's a better candidate than both of them combined. But you can add them both together and times them by 10, and Andrew Yang's still twice the candidate they are. Done. Okay? All right. Now, let's talk about Yang Gang for a minute. Yang Gang worked so hard, knocked on so many doors, right? Kai Watson is a symbol of Yang Gang in Iowa. Kai Watson quit college to knock on doors in Iowa for Andrew Yang, right? Now, how's that feel when Andrew Yang comes out of Iowa with 1% vote and 0 delegates, right? Whew, that's rough. That is rough. Yang Gang, my take on this, right, is what happened here is there was not a single misstep by Andrew Yang. He did everything he should have done. And there was not a single misstep by Yang Gang. They did everything that needed to be done. I feel that Andrew Yang's performance in Iowa says that 99% of the people in Iowa are not paying attention, and they care about things they shouldn't care about. That's my opinion. That's my opinion. I really feel that this result for Andrew Yang and for Yang Gang says a lot more about Iowa than it says about Andrew Yang or Yang Gang. That's my take. I do know it is sad making all the energy and hard work that they put in to not see a better result. I did see this coming. I got it on tape. Like, you can go back to my Saturday video, and I said this was going to happen. I could see it coming, because there's just some factors in America that are going to be incredibly hard to beat. In fact, I think there's some factors in America that Andrew Yang cannot defeat, but I think the future can. And the future is incredibly unpredictable and fully uncontrollable. Fully uncontrollable. And I truly believe I don't know what they are, but I think there are events that are going to continue to happen that are going to shock and surprise people. And I think Andrew Yang is best positioned to maneuver when changes happen. And that's why I still have hope that there is a path, an absolute golden path to the White House for Andrew Yang, as long as he doesn't quit, which I think he will never quit. I think he'll go till the last day, the last moment. And when that last moment comes, I think the opportunity will already have arrived, and he'll get into the election, and he will absolutely crush Trump in the election. Okay. Now, let's talk about all the other people in the Iowa caucus results, okay? Because the reality is, here's the other one, right? Iowa, what they didn't really understand, Iowa didn't understand that what this was you choose Andrew Yang, or you choose what flavor of loss you want against Donald Trump. That's all there was. That's all this was, okay? Now, it is a stunner what came out of the other results that came out of the Iowa caucus. Let's talk about them. Okay. Who won the Iowa caucus? Well, I'll tell you right now, Donald Trump won the Iowa caucus. No two ways about it, okay? Donald Trump won the Democrat Iowa caucus because of the delay. I said I wasn't going to talk about it, but I got to hit that one. This is catastrophic. It was so bad. The delayed results was horrific. It opens up a minefield for conspiracy theories, hanging chads, the whole nine. This is going to be a mess. This is the Democrats' first handling of votes in the primaries and in the caucus, and it could not have went worse. It's hard to imagine how it could have possibly went worse. And all that shines on Trump. He crushed it. Donald Trump beat everybody in the Democrat Iowa caucus. Incredibly frustrating. Not good. Okay. All right. So let's talk about the actual numbers, okay? The actual numbers. The number one technical position is Pete Buttigieg. What? Pete Buttigieg comes out with 25% of the vote and gets 10 delegates. That is a stunner, okay? I can't say nobody saw this coming. A lot of people saw this coming. The media absolutely loves Pete Buttigieg. I am not a fan. I feel the reason why I'm not a fan of Pete Buttigieg is all I can see when I look at him is he ain't got a single innovative policy. In fact, he doesn't have a single policy of his own. Every policy he has is something that was scribbled down on his notepad 5 minutes before class started from the student on his left, copied from the student on his left, the candidate on his left. I can't understand why anyone is impressed with Pete Buttigieg. I don't get it. But guess what? Scott Garibay don't need to get it. Pete Buttigieg crushed it in the Iowa caucus, and I give him his props. He earned it. He earned every bit of it. He came in number one, stunned his opponents, and came out on top. I give him his props. He worked hard in Iowa. I know he had a powerful ground game. He planned on this for weeks and months. So did Yang. But Pete, he found some kind of magic formula and turned his work into traction, and that surged his campaign forward. And he destroyed his opponents. Let's talk about his opponents, right? Next was Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders, holy cows. 25% of the vote, 10 delegates, same as Pete Buttigieg. Unbelievable. I am absolutely shocked at what is happening. This is truly unprecedented, okay? Because Bernie Sanders is an experiment. When Bernie Sanders becomes president, he will be older than the oldest president was when the oldest president left office. That is an experiment. What Bernie is doing has never been done. Okay? And we already have the results on this experiment. When you take a candidate that is this old and you run them, we already know what happens. October 2019 happens. That's what happens. Okay? And America's like, we don't care. We are unhinging logic from the vote. Passion is connected to the vote. And you know what? I get it, Bernie voters. I am connected to Andrew Yang based on passion, not based on logic. Andrew Yang, I am a passionate voter for Andrew Yang because I'm inspired by what an incredible leader, what an incredible husband, and what an incredible father he is. And I'm passionate about him as a candidate. I have to admit, I'm in the same boat the Bernie are. I'd love to tell you, it's all logic, it's all freedom dividend. No, it's not. I'm inspired by him, and I'm passionate about him. And Bernie people are the same, right? But this is getting, this is incredible. Like, we're about to see what happens when a 78-year-old man goes into June, July, August, and shakes 1,000 hands under the hot sun in the middle of the country and jets all over the country after an October 2019 event. That's alarming. That's alarming to me. I don't understand why America's going down this road, but they are going down this road. America's like, I want to see the end of this experiment. Okay, let's see. Well, everybody's got a right to vote the way they want to vote. Boy, I hope I'm wrong on how this one's going to end. I really hope I'm wrong on how this one's going to end. Elizabeth Warren, absolute, fantastic performance by Elizabeth Warren, by one of her finest performances to date, without a doubt. It was incredibly impressive. I was very, very impressed. All right. So Elizabeth Warren comes out and she got 18% of the vote and 4 delegates. 4 delegates. Now that's it. There's only 3 people who got delegates. Pete Buttigieg, Bernie Sanders, Elizabeth Warren. Elizabeth Warren comes out on top. That is surprising to me. I did not expect that. She did extremely well, and she beat her own performance so far. This is one of her greatest victories of the campaign. And for Pete Buttigieg, this is by far his greatest victory of the campaign. This is him slamming the gauntlet down. Okay? This is him arriving. This is him stepping out of the wine cave and fully onto the stage. This is really something. Listen to this. There's so much. I wanted to lead with this because this is arguably the biggest news from the caucus, but there's just so much happening. It's incredible. I think this is a centimeter below the biggest news of the caucus, okay? Because the biggest news of the caucus, unfortunately, the delay. I think the second biggest news of the caucus is Joe Biden, 15% of the vote, and goose egg delegates, comes out with nothing. He is Dunzo, gone, finished, right? He's still in the election, but you can shuffle off to Buffalo, Joe. You got 0 delegates in Iowa. DNC's pulling for you like crazy. There's so many resources behind Joe, so many institutions behind Joe, so many celebrities behind Joe. Nothing. 0 delegates. 0 delegates. That is incredible. I really feel like that you could put a fork in it. I really feel like Biden, that whole thing, shut that down. Because it's done. I just, with as much has been invested in him by so many institutions, to come up with no delegates, that ain't good. All right. So you got Biden there. Klobuchar, 13%. 13% of the vote, right? Amy stepping up big day for Amy. Zero delegates. Not good. Last, Tom Steyer. 0.3% of the vote. Not even 1%. 0 delegates. Still outperformed Bloomberg. Okay? So Tom Steyer and Bloomberg are kind of in their own little separate billionaire race, right? Tom Steyer's coming out on top. Tom Steyer's making the debates. He's getting the people to vote for him in Iowa. Bloomberg ain't got nothing to show for his money. No debates, no delegates, not even a vote. Like 0% of the vote. Bloomberg is in this pack. Listen to this. Bloomberg is in the double goose egg pack. Here's the double goose eggers. Patrick, Bennett, Bloomberg, Gabbard. That's it. That's all there is. Okay? It's Patrick, Bennett, Gabbard, Bloomberg. All that money, all that spin that Bloomberg put out, and he ends up with Patrick, Bennett, and Gabbard. Woo! Rough day for Tulsi. I think it's kind of exactly where you would expect Bloomberg and Steyer to be. You can't just roll out and and here's the thing. This is exactly what needed to happen, okay? If you roll in late to work, which is exactly what Bloomberg did and exactly what Tom Steyer did, right? And you're like, I'm not shaking Americans' hands and doing a bunch of debates and doing all the things that politicians need to do. I'm just going to spend some money on some TV ads, right? We can do that with a click of a button and I don't need to sweat or touch people or then you end up exactly where you should be. And I'm really glad to see that, it's starting to show that you really can't make traction this way. And that's good. That's a very needed message in America. Okay? All right. So this is an absolutely incredible set of results. Okay? Now, I got other things to unpack. So we got to unpack the results delay. And we also have to unpack, was I right, was I wrong? Okay? And I'll get into both of those in separate videos. I appreciate you letting me share my thoughts on the results with you. Of course, they were timestamps. Good chances will all change tomorrow, which is a hot mess in its own. And again, I'll speak to that in a later video. Thank you very much for letting me share these ideas with you. I appreciate it. I hope you have a fantastic day today. Please consider liking and subscribing and have a wonderful millennium.